Hi, this is Derek Freund speaking to you from high atop my second floor mastermind hideout. Some people actually wonder what my business is.
He's a very big influential advertising man, that's all he is.
Well, more specifically, with Rogue Marketing Systems and as a constant contact accredited local expert, I provide fully integrated online and offline direct response marketing because your profit is our business. As a professional speaker and author, I can train you or your staff on how to access and utilize these principles. Or as an outsourced chief marketing officer, you can delegate these duties to us. Today we have a special interview I'm sure you'll enjoy and likely want to forward on to friends. Now here we go.
All right, this is Derek Freund with Rogue Marketing Systems, and we've got Camille Leone. Camille is an author, a speaker, a thought leader, and founder of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce and a lot of other fantastic things. Camille, can you hear me well?
I can. Thank you so much, Derek. I'm excited to be on the line with you.
Yeah, well, we've got almost a coast to coast. You are in
beautiful urban sprawl of Greater LA.
That's right, Sherman Oaks, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Beautiful part of the country. So, all right, and I'm over here on Eastern Standard Time, so I'm sure your weather's a little bit better than mine. Anyhow,
it is warm here all year round.
Always a pleasant disposition here. So I want to learn more and share with both people who are actively participating with the Holistic Chamber of Commerce or in the future will be participating with the Holistic Chamber of Commerce and this wonderful organization. But tell me a little bit about your background, what happened to you 7-8 years ago to inspire you to be the founder and start this organization?
It's so funny. Some ways it seems very simple, and in other ways I go, well, it's just not that simple. It's complex. But my grandmother had a stroke. My mother had a double mastectomy, and I was in a high-stress office, downtown L.A., kind of the heart of the evil empire. And the health writing was on the wall for me. If I didn't start making some changes, then it was just going to go downhill. Mm-hmm. So I started looking for more natural kind of lifestyle support. How can I make the easy preventative changes now? And when I started asking around for help finding an acupuncturist, I got all kinds of things like, what, needles? And I have no idea, and a little rolling of the eyes. And I thought, oh, there's got to be a better way to find the natural healthcare specialists, the holistic healers.
So you started
kind of
experiencing some health problems of your own, and I imagine you went through the traditional allopathic, let's either do surgery or give you medications to help you out, and did that work?
My grandmother started taking after her stroke, actually I believe it was before her stroke, some statins. Mm-hmm. And they had impacted her exercise habits. And my mother got the surgery. Fortunately, she chose not to do chemo or radiation. And I was actually really lucky. I took action right away before those big things came down the pike for me.
Okay.
That's partially because when I was in college, I was diagnosed with gout, and the doctor wrote me a prescription for, I think it was allopurinol, and he said, this is what we usually recommend for people with gout, but I want to let you know that it's really hard on your liver. And I was still, I was in college. I was like 21. I was like, why would I want to start taking a medication now that is known to do damage to my liver, and I'm going to have to be on it for the rest of my life? And that was when I first started looking for nutrition as a solution. And my grandmother actually gave me a diet that her husband, my grandfather, had been given ages ago, right? And she was like, here's some things you can do just in terms of what you're eating. And, what's the basis of holistic health and wellness is what are you eating? How are you exercising?
Yeah, I tell you, I'm not qualified to dispense information on this, but I have two dear friends that experience gout, and like this natural solution is like, correct me if I'm, like 2 ounces of cherry juice a day or something. I mean, it's like greatly mitigates these problems.
Really
I mean,
simple.
it's like, wow, 2 ounces of cherry juice a day? Or am I remembering this right?
Yes, yeah, it's eat fresh cherries or drink fresh cherry juice. Reduce the red meat that you're eating. Reduce the red wine that you're drinking. Mind you, it doesn't say you've got to cut it out entirely. It basically says you just need to be more moderate in that. And yes, add cherries and cherry juice to your diet. So, wow, how simple is that?
Save your liver and kidney for the rest of your life, yeah. So you started understanding that there was natural or holistic alternatives to what you were hearing from your traditional MD and DO, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then how long ago was this that you experienced your own health crisis, if I may call it that, and started looking for alternatives or holistic solutions?
Oh, gosh. How long ago was I in college?
No. When you said you were on your high-stress, high-career job track that you were on.
Oh, that. Well, that was really a matter of, it was probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was a matter of paying attention to my family and what was going on, like with my grandmother and my mother. There are 4 elements that lead to chronic health issues and major health issues: eating, exercise, stress, and genetics. So when you hear that your grandmother and your mother are having major health issues, it means that your genetics are way out of whack. And if you're in a high-stress position, which is where I was, and your eating and exercise are basically, I was eating fast, cheap, and easy. And I had no time for exercise, right, because I was working in that great type A mode that's so common in downtown LA. So
it's common where I'm from too.
My father and his wife live in Maui, and I can tell you that she is just as type A as I was way back then. And she's living in the vacation hotspot of the world. So I'm like, okay, if that's where you are, then you're going to still keep that hot, fast-paced, high-stress lifestyle anywhere. And it's just finding ways to moderate it or to create some balance in your life.
So what was your experience that opened your eyes to eating, exercise, stress, and dealing with your genetics?
It was just finding support in some ways, finding the doctors or the healing specialists who look at lifestyle from the point of view of what's your entire lifestyle look like, not just your eating or your exercise, but your relationships, and how can we create some balance between all of those. Your work habits, those routines. And then, of course, once I found the holistic and natural healers, it was how do I find healthier relationships for the rest of my life? How do I find the people, friends, colleagues who can support me in making healthier choices? Because as long as I worked in downtown LA, I was surrounded by people who were, in the same type A mode that I was in.
So is it fair to say you discovered, I don't know if the right word is alternative, but would you include nutritionists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, holistic doctors, naturopaths, massage therapists, herbalists, etc., with this scope?
All of the above and more.
Absolutely.
I have tried all of those. Colon hydrotherapy I've tried. Oh, that's a fun one. But, for...
It's healthy. It's very healthy.
And for somebody who needs it, it can make a huge difference. I have worked with sound therapists, hypnotherapists, even some of the more esoteric techniques, I think there's so much that goes on in today's world that we can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
And there are also healing techniques that sometimes are difficult to explain or understand. But, my point of view is if it works, it's a good thing. Let me check it out.
Well, I tell you, I know a practitioner who is fabulous as an acupuncturist for fertility. Matter of fact, he even helped out a lady who was like the head of thoracic care at one of the major hospitals. And it's like, the bottom line is they don't know exactly how it works, but she now has babies, and he did this acupuncture. She's happy. She's ecstatic, So there are alternatives, and then obviously there's nutrition, there's organic farming, and there's stress, and there's exercise via yoga or weights or any variety there. So you discovered, what were some of the benefits that you derived out of this, Camille?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it's funny. I now say that a bad day now is better than a good day back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's partially that I've just been supported in making all kinds of changes. So some of it's really simple. I drink more water.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer drink soda at all. I eat healthier foods. I recognize that it's probably worth it for me to spend a little more money on fresh foods, organic foods, because I have more energy and I'm healthier all the time, which means I really get to make the most of the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just incorporating all of the different techniques at different times, recognizing that, okay, right now I have something that's kind of physical going on and I need to go to an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or get a massage because I'm in high stress mode. And other times it was more kind of emotional and energetic, and I would go to one of the specialists who really worked with those kinds of concerns and issues.
Right. Well, no, and as you know, I've been a member of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce for going on a year and a half now. So I've got my glass bottle of water here and consuming and doing it. But what I'm hearing that you experience is that there is alternatives. There's a support group, if we're careful how we say support group, and a network that you discovered. And is that what motivated you to actually create this formal organization? Because it's really the only one of its kind.
Yes, it is what motivated me. And, I've found when I look at all the elements that really started coming together, and we've been we're just over 5 years old now,
mm-hmm.
And the elements have ended up that we're kind of a hybrid, which is a lot of what we do is online, so that whether I'm looking for support or whether my aunt in Maryland is looking for support, we can go online and we can find somebody nearby, right, and say, you need an acupuncturist, you need a chiropractor, you're looking for help with nutrition or exercise, let me plug in the location and what you're looking for and find somebody who can help you. And then we also have created the live local chapters so that the professionals in those areas have a place to go to meet their colleagues who
mm-hmm.
come from the same perspective. So like-minded networking. So we're doing business with each other.
Well, I want to just champion that cause. As important as and as valuable is the online community, and that's how we got to meet through the email communications. And although we have met once in person, that face-to-face, in the old days we called it belly-to-belly, handshake, and that human, whether it's your organization or really any, I mean, having tea with a friend, that communal relationship is getting lost, and I believe it's very, very healthy for body, mind, and soul to, real human contact. And
I like that we're in a high-tech world these days because I can get so much done so quickly, and I can connect with so many people all over the place. But we're also a high-touch world, and we need to stay connected belly to belly,
mm-hmm.
face to face, person to person. And so having this hybrid of what we're doing online and also in the local groups allows us to bridge high tech to high touch, just the same way that we're bridging mainstream to more holistic solutions.
And we're going to give people away, but they find you online at the holisticchamberofcommerce.com. Do I have that right?
The longest domain name in the world, holisticchamberofcommerce.com.
And currently you have how many chapters across the country and in different parts of the world?
Currently we are at just about 60 chapters, coast
mm-hmm.
to coast, U.S. and Canada, and we are adding new chapters. Well, we got a new chapter today, so
fantastic.
On a regular basis.
So we'll encourage people to reach out and get involved locally. Now, Camille, how do you define holistic?
Well, I used to say mind, body, spirit, and I know a lot of people who that's what they think, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul. But I now realize that it goes further than that. So I say mind, body, spirit, business, budget, planet. It's how are we handling our money? Are we finding ways to connect our money to our values? Because in this world, that makes a difference. If we are spiritual beings having a human experience, money is part of that experience, and connecting our values to how we run our businesses and how we handle our budgets can make a huge difference.
No doubt. It's money and time.
Yes, money and, well, I don't know that I always equate money and time, but I know that they impact each other.
Mm-hmm.
The more money I have, the more I can hire somebody else to do something that I don't necessarily want to do or something that they have more skills at. You, for example, are a skilled marketer. If I have money, I can hire you. If I don't have money, it takes me 4 times as long to do the same thing,
mm-hmm.
and probably not even as well. And it's the same thing. If I have money, I can hire a massage therapist to help with that stress. And if I don't have money, I'm just stressed. It's all connected.
Is it fair also that holistic can mean different things to different people? I like your definition, but I can have my interpretation of that, and you can have yours and your various presidents or members, that this is a fluid thing?
I definitely agree that it's a fluid thing. And I think that if you look at it as a spectrum, we're
mm-hmm.
all at different places on that spectrum. So, my point of view is we have an open hand, and come on in and let's discover what holistic means together
mm-hmm.
in a way that's non-judgmental and more caring, and says, okay, Derek, I'd like to hear what you think of this. How do you define it? Not everybody eats a vegan diet. Not everybody eats a vegetarian diet. And I think that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we need to be open-minded so that people can come in the door no matter where they are and help learn how it works best for them.
Yeah, and just understand our bodies and everything work together, and if we make a lot of money but we sacrifice our health, really what have we gained? On the other hand, I know you're going to tell us more about it in the future, there's this wonderful society of alternative healthcare providers who deliver wonderful services, but they're not making the income that's commensurate with what it should be, what it is in the allopathic world. And I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying the alternative healthcare people should be well paid, they should be affluent, and people should be willing to pay in order of the priorities that is worth to them, just like they do with their CPAs, attorneys, anybody else in their life, doctors, et cetera.
Well, those are a little bit business skills, I think, that a lot of the holistic healers come to this from the point of view of this is a gift,
mm-hmm.
and I want to share it with as many people as. From that point of view, very often they're giving away something for free that a more conventional Western doctor might be charging for, and then doing pro bono on the weekends. And so it's helping the healers who come from that very generous giving perspective understand that in order to support themselves and be really fully sustainable over the long term, they deserve to make money, and they've invested, oh my gosh, the amount of education some of these specialists have invested their time and money in. They definitely are worth just as much or more as the conventional Western doctors, because many of them have actually spent more time learning medicine first and then learning the natural techniques.
And also have better statistics for results. So, no, and that's fantastic that that's a community that's so giving. Where do you see the great divide between, holistic or alternative healthcare and the traditional healthcare model? Where's there a divide, and where should that maybe be connected?
I think that one of the greatest divides comes down to lifestyle. And I'm starting to adopt a term called lifestyle medicine. Does your doctor say, this is your problem, here, let me prescribe a pill for you? Or say, okay, I see what's going on here, and I recommend that you start practicing yoga 3 times a week. Or I recommend that you start eating all organic, or cut soda, or cut meat, or not cut something out of your diet, but simply double the amount of fruits and vegetables you're eating, or eat more grains because you need more fiber in your diet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the basics is somebody recommending that you just take another pill, which is going to add to the side effects that you're dealing with, or is somebody recommending that there are some lifestyle changes, and sometimes very simple ones that can help you get better. It may take you a little bit longer, but it will last much longer overall.
Is
and
that like
create fewer side effects?
Like drinking water every day?
Yes, like drinking water every day.
I know that was a big aha for me. I kept hearing this, and now I have an app on my phone, and I drink half an ounce of water for every pound of body weight I have. So I have an app on my phone that's set for 94 ounces. I never got the 8 glasses of water, because what's a big glass, what's a little glass? So I've got the glass jar, 16 ounces. And every time I finish off the 16 ounces, I click it, and the long-term benefits are going to be tremendous. What are some other holistic? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I don't think I drink the recommended amount of water either, but I drink water every day, some days more than others, and it's because I'm surrounded by people who, when I say, oh, my gosh, I have a headache, you know what they say? They say, oh, you might be dehydrated. Have you been drinking water? Oh, right. Okay, let me go get a glass of water. So it can be really simple. Or nuts, eating nuts for protein, eating leafy green vegetables. I think that's one of the popularity. It's sad, but it's going to be a long term, which is people are juicing now, because juicing is a great way to get your fresh vegetables. Mix it in with some of the tastier fruits, and it goes down smoothly and easily. So it's very often just the basics of eating and exercise that will create the tipping point for your health.
Mm-hmm. And then, a person in their business life, obviously you've got this great community of healthcare providers, of which I'm a subscriber to, although I'm a business person in a traditional business. I don't sell exercise program or health care or nutritions or things of that, but I purchase and I consume them. How do you approach and get people, again, and I'm a fan of health care and holism, but how do we open these opportunities to other people like me who don't work in this environment every day, where you were 8-10 years ago?
So, and I'll just tell you, I want my healers, who are great healers but not always great business people, to be connected to professionals like you who understand the business building piece in a more holistic framework. So if my acupuncturist is going to be a great acupuncturist, then they need easier access to a holistically minded business support marketing professional like you. Same with, we have bookkeepers. Actually, my bookkeeper would probably rather be gardening in her organic garden than marketing, but she's an expert bookkeeper, right? So she fits right in just as well as the more, the healing types. And I just say that they're healing our businesses.
Yep. I mean, I don't know what your dynamic is. I don't know what your dynamic is right now, but being involved for the time that I have, I'd like to see a 50-50 balance of holistic healthcare professionals and traditional business people or even medical care, because, and I'm sure you've heard the same resistance I have, where I go to somebody who's already involved in alternative or holistic healthcare, and they go, well, I already do that. I already know all that stuff. And part of me goes, well, A, you know everything about your area of specialty, but you can't know the other people's specialty. So, A, you got to get involved. Or we go to the professional, the traditional lawyer, CPA, business owner, entrepreneur, doctor, engineers, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and say, hey, there's this organization. And they go, well, I'm not one of those fruits and nuts hippie people. And you go, no, you got a misunderstanding.
Right.
Let's come together.
Right. And I like the vision of 50-50 balance, because on some level it comes down to balance. And there are days when you need the conventional doctors. I sprained my ankle the other week, and let me just tell you, I was in and was like, can you please x-ray this, because I want to make sure it's not broken.
Right.
But then after that, right, I was told, okay, it's a sprain. You need to raise it above your heart, and you need to ice it and stay off of it. Okay, well, what's that? That's holistic healing. That's not, here, take a pill, but it's got to be the balance. And, for some business people, here's another way to look at it, is you're good at helping balance short-term results with long-term consequences. I want an attorney and an accountant who, when they are giving me advice, they recognize that my value system is not all about how can I make more money. Yes, I do need to make money because I have bills to pay, but it's also what's good for the environment, what's good for the community. When we look at BP oil, right?
Yeah.
Big little snafu there.
Valdez or the Gulf of Mexico or, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have taken much to say, okay, the long-term consequences of these actions really don't balance out with the short-term results. But instead they decided to go ahead and do it their way and ignore the risk to, and it wasn't just the environmental risk, right? That really put large communities, extended communities at risk. It impacted people in so many ways, and it still is, right? So that's how you apply the term holistic to business, and that's why we want business professionals involved just as much as we want the healers involved.
Well, sure, and
we want everybody to have easier access.
Closer to home, today somebody can decide to get fast food, or they can go and get some lean meat or protein or nuts and fruit and vegetables, and in the short term that may make very little difference, although I will feel better with the fresh fruits and vegetables. But 5, 10, 20 years down the road, the impact will be huge. The same way goes about how we treat our clients and our referrals and things of that nature. In this group that you've put together, there's obviously an opportunity for referrals and networking and ways that we can look people up and research. How do you go about screening and making quality referrals in your group?
Well, so one of the things we do is we ask every member who comes in for 3 references, and all 3 of those references are responding to a 6-question questionnaire about really the quality of your work, the products and services you provide, and also your integrity and professionalism, so that when somebody comes to our website, and whether they're looking for marketing support or health support, they're finding reference-reviewed professionals and specialists.
Yeah, you're the only organization as large and as broad as you are, I know, that is doing that is getting references and requesting those. You know, certainly there's a time and a place for people to travel great distance, and there's sometimes this, not sometimes, but there's this perception, I'm sure you experience this. You go 5 miles down the road and you're the founder, you're the expert. You go 500 miles, well, your fees, you go 2,000 miles, everything goes up. But what about reaching out to the local people so they don't have to travel the great distances to get the care? Is there ways you can help people do that in times where they can avoid the expense of travel and waiting in line for another healthcare provider?
Well, you know, I actually met a woman once in LA, and I was so surprised by this, and this was fairly early on, so it actually fed some of our early decision-making. She told me that she had traveled from LA to Chicago to get breast thermography with Dr. Mercola's office. And
now, can you explain that? Because I understand she got breast what? And because I know that Dr. Mercola is a chiropractor, right? So he does. I'm not judging. I'm just questioning what she had.
Dr. Mercola is, so breast thermography is it's an alternative, if you will, to mammograms.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually a screening device that takes basically a heat picture of whatever area of your body being screened, and it's commonly used for breast thermography, but I know that it is also used for other areas of the body. And so it can give you a non-invasive snapshot of what's going on in any given body part. So it's an alternative for mammograms and a lot of natural health professionals, chiropractors, acupuncturists, and others have breast thermography trained, certified technicians in their overall practice. So Dr. Mercola would be along with other chiropractors here in the LA area. So what was amazing, of course, was I don't know very many people who can afford to fly from LA to Chicago for a simple test.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I know that in LA there are a ton of thermographers who would have loved to have this woman's business. It would have been easier for her, and it would have supported their business. But because they weren't members, and, I mean, honestly, at the time this happened, right, there was not a holistic chamber of commerce. So now we have this organization so that a woman like her would be able to go online and just search at our website, holisticchamberofcommerce.com, and find the options for mammograms, and it would come up as breast thermography, and she'd be able to find a bunch of local professionals and specialists.
And which is fantastic. Now, that's certainly only members are listed, right?
Only members are listed, and as I said, our members are all reference reviewed,
mm-hmm.
and this is a professional organization, so our members also pay. You know, if you want somebody who, if you want to go to Craigslist, you're going to get whatever comes up at Craigslist. If you want to go to Google, Google is great, and we definitely spend some time and some energy making sure that we come up in Google search results. But others who come up in Google search results, for all we know, they're spending a lot of money on their search engine optimization, and we don't know how their quality of product and service shows up, and we don't know about their professionalism.
Right.
So,
I want to point out, though, that they're paying a membership that's similar to a local chamber of commerce to belong to a national chamber of commerce, and one of the many benefits is being listed on the website. There's also local meetings. There's also, when you're, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're a member of one chapter, you're now automatically a member of every chapter. And now there's this networking and education opportunity that's huge. So the advertising is a very valuable part, but that's only one of 4, 5, or 10 components, right?
Oh, definitely. I actually, every so often, I'll just say, there's the American Medical Association. We've all heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, in some ways, is similar to that organization in terms of representing professionals. And at the same time, we offer a lot of other member benefits because so many of our members need support in the business building area as well, that we want to make sure that they're getting the live local networking similar to a more conventional Chamber of Commerce, and they're also being connected to each other. We have a lot of members who travel, and so they get to attend meetings wherever they are, and it's an extra benefit.
Sure, absolutely. I know just within my state, Michigan here, I'm a member of the Greater Brighton Chamber, but I've also attended the Oakland County. Now I understand you're going to have one in Detroit, and certainly in the foreseeable future there's going to be any number of other communities here that are growing all the time. Camille, I want to ask you what the big picture is, but you've already accomplished being, again, international in scope of what you're doing, but I still feel like this is an acorn that's going to become the mighty oak in terms of everybody understanding and having a political influence and having an impact. Where do you see this growing so that in the future people go, yeah, Camille started this organization, and where did it go and what's it becoming?
So there is a bigger picture, and yes, it is already big, but the bigger picture is that the world at large needs a lot of healing. If you look at our cities and our youth, we can see things falling apart at the seams. They need healing. I know a lot of people would say that Wall Street needs healing. Mm-hmm. Plenty of others would say that Washington needs healing. So, or what we'll say is, well, it's broken. Well, if something is broken, then it needs healing. And it's just recognizing that by coming together in an organization like ours, we can focus on creating solutions that actually trickle up so that some of the larger economies and larger systems actually are impacted by a trickle-up effect. A lot of good things get done through grassroots movements, and we started from scratch. So I think our bigger picture is how do we all come together in a way that's just going to heal ourselves, our families, our communities, and also our cities and beyond.
Mm-hmm. This is fascinating. How do people get involved? Because obviously we're going to have listeners who have been deeply involved in this for, a few months or up to 5 years. But what about the person who hasn't dipped their toe in the water, who wants to get actively involved, who has something to bring to the party and wants to, take something out at the same time? What's the next step?
The easiest way to get involved is to go to our website, holisticchamberofcommerce.com, and on the website, you can actually join now if it's a good fit for you. You can, if you are looking for help, either with healing your mind, body, spirit, or with healing your business and budget, you can find any one of our reference-reviewed members through the free-to-search online directory and member marketplace. You can find events by searching our events menu, our events calendar. You can
and you have live events in dozens of cities, and you also have online events too, right?
That is true, and we also have telecall events. And the events that we show on our website are both Holistic Chamber of Commerce events, and they are also events that are put on, coordinated, and hosted by our members. So some of the events are, come to a Holistic Chamber of Commerce meeting, and some of the events are come and learn more about holistic health and wellness, come and learn more about a specific technique or a specific health concern, come and learn more about natural alternatives for healing your diabetes, or come and learn more about different ways to recover from, chronic diseases. And then also we have members like you who do great webinars and also live events learn more about getting the word out. If you have a message to share about your cause, come learn more about the marketing techniques that help you create relationships so that more people will learn about what you have to offer. And that's, on
that's
our website.
fantastic. So somebody can sign up and pay and join. They can do that if they're gung-ho and they want to do that, and that's fantastic. Or they can get started by if they're a consumer, they're the stressed out CPA or tax season coming up. They can search a healthcare practitioner on the line, so they don't have to be a member to either get free or purchase service from that network that you vetted through references, right?
Correct.
They can attend a local or an online event. Now, some of those, do I understand, are paid for, and some of those are available for free to be the first or second time guest, right?
That's correct, and that really depends on the chapter. Our chapters meet in a variety of locations. And, of course, if it's a member event, some of our members are doing free events, just kind of awareness and education, and some of our members are doing more advanced education.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come to our website, just look and you'll see, and even when you're looking for health solutions, right, you'll find that there are some who charge less and some who charge more. I'm in LA, so I'll just say if you go to a doctor in Compton, it's going to cost you probably less than if you go to a doctor in Beverly Hills.
Right.
So there are options at all ends of the budgetary spectrum,
mm-hmm.
and our intention is to offer as many options as possible. So no matter where somebody is, they can find someone or some product or service that's going to help be a solution for them.
They also, and tell me how they do this, they can sign up to get on your email list. So they get, is it weekly or biweekly updates?
We send about 4 to 6 emails a month, depending on where somebody is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also right on our website right now. It's on our left side menu, and it just says email updates, sign up. And
something that's near and dear to my heart. They can get the information, yeah.
Yeah, we use your favorite, Constant Contact, and we love them, and we love you. You've been very helpful in helping us refine and fine-tune getting our message out and the way we get our message out.
Well, it's such a great way for people to communicate, and what I want to inspire, and you've articulated so well, Camille, is that somebody can go in whole hog, but they can also participate by reading your emails, by connecting with people online. I don't think you can promise, but to the best of my knowledge, all the chapters have either free first meetings or very low cost, so people can go in and experience. It's not a big financial decision to participate and actually see what's going on. And then I know I attended the first meeting and I signed up right away. I said, this is something that's important to me, that resonates with something that I want to do actively in my life and be involved in, both locally and then on a bigger scale. So what you're doing is fantastic. Camille, you've been very, very generous with your time. Any last-minute stories or anything you want to leave our excited audience with?
I think I just want to add that we really want to meet you. We want to invite you all to get to know us, either in person or online. We are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube, thanks to Rogue Marketing and our friend Derek.
Thank you. That's not needed. Okay, you're.
But there are a ton of ways to get to know the Holistic Chamber of Commerce and to find the professionals and specialists who are here to help you mind, body, spirit, business, budget, plan it.
All right. Well, this is Derek Freund with Rogue Marketing. We want to thank Camille Leone. Look up her books, her emails, her information, and make the connection and let me hear your story. So, Derek Freund, until next time, over and out, eat healthy, be healthy, and share with others.